Okay, it's me again, Mark from Newbie Prepping. Just me, no frills, no editing. Just me, I'm afraid. You must be getting bored of me already. But I thought I'd do this new one because, wow, what a week we're having, you know. I can't believe. So, there's been quite a lot happening really. We take it in order. So, the conflict in Ukraine is still going ahead, as you know. Still, either side blaming the other side for different things. One of them is the, I'm going to probably butcher this, I do apologise, but the Zaporizhzhya Nuclear Power Plant. I think that's right. So, obviously, the Ukrainian Special Intelligence Services have said it's been mined. Russia has pulled out troops or employees, or pulled out people from there. The Russians are saying it's Ukrainians are planning to blow it up. What can I say? You know, let's look at this objectively. Doing it bad, really bad. It's going to be worse than Chernobyl. So what benefits does either side have of destroying it? Well, if you look at Ukraine, the benefit is it gets rid of Russian troops because there's no one going to be staying around, and it will stop that invasion happening and the war will quite abruptly come to an end. But would they do that to their own country? I don't think so. I don't think any country would actually purposely lay waste a big, massive proportion of their own country in that sense, because obviously the amount of people will suffer, and around Chernobyl, people still can't live there. So, would the Ukrainians do it? I very much doubt it. So let's look at Russia. So would Russia do it? Potentially, they want the land. You know, they're saying that the civilians want to be Russian, so they're going to be attacking their own population. Would they do that? I would hope to say no, but who knows? I don't think they would. But here's another thing. Russia always wants that buffer between them and NATO. So, could that bit of land be sacrificed with that nuclear explosion, yeah, or meltdown, or whatever it's going to be, to have that buffer? Because obviously no one's going to be there. There's going to be a good portion of Ukraine what's going to be uninhabitable, yeah, and Russia's got that buffer. So, you could see there's logic there for them to have that, and they could say, well, it weren't really our country in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So there's many ways of spinning that. Would they do it? Well, I hope they wouldn't. You know, accidents do happen. Look at the dam. But who knows what they're thinking? And if they feel that much under pressure that they could be losing, or if they don't think they could win or gain any more territory, or same for either side, who knows? Now, if it's going to happen, the best place would be, like, don't take this the wrong way, but not saying the best place, but the Ukrainians have experience of containing, like they did with my brain's gone, my brain cells, it's the polar shift. My word, see, this is what happens when it's unedited. You forget something. With Chernobyl, there you go, it comes to me. Light went on. Chernobyl, obviously they encapsulated it, and encapsulating is reduced the amount of radiation what's still coming from it. So they've got the expertise to redo that, but obviously this is going to be 4 times bigger because there's 4 reactors there, and it was only 1 reactor last time. So it is a delicate balance. If Russia did decide to blow it up and pull all out of the troops, yes, it's going to be a massive disaster. But the Ukrainians, they've dealt with it in the past. They're probably one of the best people to actually resolve this. Russia would lose its Black Sea Fleet port. There you go. Because obviously that would be contaminated. Crimea would be contaminated. So I think it would all go down to in Odessa, further south from where it is. So it's a large area what would be affected. And of course, the way the weather patterns are, and the radiation would go across Ukraine into Poland and into quite a lot of NATO countries. Would NATO respond? Well, it's not an attack as such, so it doesn't matter what people say. No NATO country has actually been attacked, even though they're getting the effects of radiation. Either side could say either side could blame each other, but without actual solid proof, and no one's going to get that proof because the place is going to be melted down. So, would America would NATO start escalating? No, I reckon there'd just be a lot more bad words, a lot more sanctions, appropriations be asked, and etc., etc. So, if you have fears over this happening, then you should be prepared. So, potassium iodine, or iodine, depends where you're from. Now there is a link below to Amazon. We don't get nothing. It's just a link to get potassium iodine or iodine, which you prefer. Basically, they're the same. Just America calls it iodine, and we call it iodine. So, but there are two separate bottles you can get. Quite cheap. Now, there is also a CDC link below. Saying the use of iodine or iodine tablets, and obviously they're saying please consult a doctor before taking them because it potentially is harmful to you. But it's harmful to you in one ways, but it protects you from it protects the lymph gland in your throat from radiation getting in there. Now, for the old fogies like me and quite a lot of other people out there, we're not as much at risk. Sorry, I had to get that one right way round. Because our lymph glands are older, they don't they don't act in the same way as a child's or a younger person. So the potassium iodine or iodine tablets will mainly be for the young and to help them survive through the radiation pollution. So that's that. So that's the health. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying for you to go out and take some, but that's where you can buy them. You can buy them off the shelf. But do find out what would be the dosage if something would happen. I'm sure that each country would give out tablets from the doctors if this would happen. I know they did in Poland after Chernobyl. A friend of mine who works at Heathrow with me, he remembers when that happened. He was a young boy at school, and they was given tablets each day to help them with any potential radiation poisoning. So I worked with him, so it did work. So he's still alive, fighting fit. I see some of the things what he's up to on Facebook. So yeah, so it's not going to be Mad Max if it does go off, but there'll be side effects of that happening. So obviously crops, sheep and livestock would have to be slaughtered quite a lot. Some food in Europe will be contaminated, so it would have to be destroyed, you know, and all that. So there will be a knock-on effect. and we're already going through a very tight situation at the moment with the price of everything, and that would just escalate even more. Sorry. So the next thing what I noticed this week was again people rewriting history, and it does happen quite a lot, and you'd be surprised. And the worst one for it is the one what we generally would use all the time is Wikipedia, because it can be easily edited. It does get easily edited, just like if you was looking to see certain injections what was supposed to be good for you, you'll find that it got changed slightly to allow certain wording to be used to against anyone like me who's saying no, that's bad, it's not right, it's not the correct terminology, and so they rewrote the dictionaries. And you see this quite a lot, and I know Funky Prepper done it quite recently. He's got some old dictionaries on sustainability he was looking at, and the meaning of standability has changed quite a lot. Well, it didn't really change a lot. It was like a couple hundred years ago it just meant one thing, and it slightly changed to not incorporate anything but to be redefined, sustainability. And now if you look it up now, especially on Wikipedia, it's including environment, which really baffles me, because if we got to have a stable environment, how? Because we can't control the weather, you know, so we kind of, that's the sustainability of being giving it all level pegging type thing, if we can't control the weather. Or can we? Conspiracy. But that's that one. Oh, changing, that was it, it's not that one. So now, some bright spark, yeah, can't remember his name, but links down below, don't care about his name. If you're offended, he says that AI should rewrite the Bible. Coming to the Bible near you. So they want to rewrite the Bible to make it more inclusive. I thought the Bible was quite inclusive anyway, apart from, obviously it does say you're not meant to be gay and stuff like that. So I can understand that part, you know, but that's not where they're going with this, you know, obviously. So they want to make it more inclusive and more relevant to modern day. Well, it's not based on modern day, you know. So why should you change it to be more relevant to modern day? It's not based in modern day. It was based back in the like 2,000 years ago, or prior to 2,000 years ago as well. So leave it alone. What are you doing? You know, and they won't just stop there. And it's all part of this. Obviously, there was again a conspiracy theory. Obviously, of one world religion, just like with one world order. Right? There are some fruitcakes out there who want this, you know, and people who bring it say, "Oh, look what they're doing. You're conspiracists. Oh, we got to demonetise you. We got to close you down." I'm not saying anything. I'm not qualified to say. I'm just saying what's out there. So that's that. AI, bad. I'll be back. That was more like Sean Connery, but never mind. That's that bit. So next, if you're planning a trip to France, don't go. Obviously, all the whites out there. You know, it baffles me completely. Now, there's been obviously loads of riots going on, but a bit more conservative. Even though it got a bit violent-y, there was no real looting going on until quite recently. These last few days. Now, And obviously you probably know the story already. It's about a 17-year-old who was shot whilst driving a car. And yes, that was wrong. You shouldn't be shot driving a car. And they were saying police was aware of him. He had no criminal record, and they were like saying all this. But if you want to look into this a bit more thoroughly, and not just go, well, you know, it's only right they do this. Well, it's not right that they're looting, because looting is nothing to do with what happened. So, over in France, you get your driving license at 18. So he was breaking the law, but it doesn't mean he should be shot. You know, he was breaking the law because he was driving. They say he was working. Well, there's plenty of jobs, plenty of other places he can get a job. He doesn't have to drive, especially when he's not allowed to drive. And obviously, the young boy was from North Africa. I'm not going to say the country because I'll probably get it wrong, but I think, no, I'm not going to say it, but it's from North Africa. And obviously 95% of North Africans are Muslim. Don't know what religion he was, don't really care, just giving you those facts. Now, he was driving a car, and obviously last year or a couple of years ago, no, it must be a couple of years ago, there was a lorry what was being used as a weapon, killed 80 odd people, injured hundreds more. So the police are a bit more suspicious of someone driving a car, obviously profiling, fits the profile, driving the car when he's not supposed to, went to drive off, and that's when it happened. Sorry that someone got shot. I didn't do it, so but it's sad that he got shot. He shouldn't have really been shot. Now, then it all kicked off. Well, let's look at what's happened, because as you know, I do like my history. And if we went back a few years, when another man was killed by a police officer, and there was marches going on, protesting going on, and that led to violence, looting, and the same sort of chants were being said over and over again, and there was looting, and it was like Nike and iPhone and stuff like that. All the top end shops will all get looted. Even like McDonald's this time around got looted. So now it's happening again, and it looks very similar. So, besides the history of what actually happened in the two of them, I've got a conspiracy here. What if these groups are being funded by the political elite for this to happen, for them to crack down on channels like myself and other media outlooks? Because Macron did turn around and say the riots happened because of social media. No, they didn't. Technically, they happened because a police officer shot someone. Yeah, the riots have been going on in your country because you changed the age of the retirement. You know, there was riots going on way before this shooting. It's just this time, I presume, it's an assumption, that it's hit a community more now, and the community is raising up, a certain community, instead of just being the elderly because of the retirement age, or do you know what I mean? So it's more of a community who come from countries where they do a lot more fighting. I don't know if that's an easier way of saying so I don't get any strikes or being deemed as trying to provoke violence or anything like that. So it could be a way of them censoring more than what they already have. I don't know, you know, but you know, I always think outside the box, and I don't trust none of them. But never mind about that. So don't go to France. You know, if you're worried about another like Chernobyl sort of thing, there's a link down below for that. Now I've got loads of links down below of what's happened, so you can see where I've got the information from, and hopefully we'll go into a better week, and I won't be doing a video of a doom and gloom. Now if you liked the video or thought it was interesting, please let me know. Thumbs up just there, or just down there should I say. You watch is going to be over that side, but subscribe, leave a comment, if you think I'm balmy way out there on cloud cuckoo land, I don't mind. Tell me your thoughts. There's a lot of things going on out there, and I don't want to go into like the conspiracy side of things, because then I'll be going down like quite a lot of other preppers are gone. I just want to notify you of potential dangers of what's happening around the world. Obviously, like with the polar shift, it's still moving, so it's still going towards Siberia, and all the doom seekers from that were wrong. We didn't have crust displacement, we didn't have it suddenly flipping, but anything what can happen, just be prepared. Even if it's just like, oh, I'm going to put a can of beans beside so it gives me like one meal. Being prepared for the worst case always is handy. Mortgages at the moment are affecting a lot more people. Money is a lot tighter. As a scout leader, we're going on our trip to England in 2 months' time, or just over a month's time. So that's going to be good. And I know times are hard. We did a lot of fundraising for it, so it made it a lot easier for the parents to cope with the cost of the trips, which are always a good. Always try and promote like us, the explorers themselves, doing the fundraising. And yes, we're asking like £1 here, £1 there, as we do backpacking or whatever we're doing, and it does help. So our garden, what we're doing to help feed the community, is growing. So teaching the explorers how to grow fruit and veg, and it's all part of training and getting used to doing something what you're not used to doing. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because of my viewers. You should be trying to do something similar. I'm not saying dig over your garden and make like vegetable beds in there, but planting a couple of tomatoes with seeds and growing them and having some tomatoes for yourself. I remember me growing up, and my dad would pick all the green ones and put them on the window for them to ripen, so the birds didn't get to them. We've been growing food ourselves for a long time. As a society, I think that we've got to a stage where we're reliant on shops too much, especially big supermarkets. I always try and promote local and support local businesses. And if I can go to a butcher, I certainly will go to a butcher and get the meats there. It's generally a lot fresher. But things will change, But you got to try and look after yourselves, and the best way of looking after yourselves is providing for yourselves. Now, I'm not saying go and buy a cow, so you got meat all the time, but you can like grow vegetables and fruits if you can got space. Strawberries are the best ones. Yes, they're seasonal, so you're not going to get them all year round, but it will still help during the summer, And then you can look at long-term storage, how to preserve them for the winter. But I think that's enough from me this week. So, Toff, if you was offended by anything I said, because I don't care, and I've got a smile on my face because I don't care. And I look forward to seeing you all next week, and hopefully Rich would get his finger out. He said he was going to go camping when I spoke to him the other day, and do a video in one of the local woods what he's found. I think I just need to give him a kick up the backside when I get over there. We are supposed to be meeting up with some other friends. So yes, it's again a pleasure doing this for you all, And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some information out of it, and have a look at the links. They are worth a look. I am. Until next time, keep safe out there, keep practicing, and good night if you've seen it at night.